Oakland Athletics Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Tonight marks the third straight matchup versus the National League West. This time it's the Padres who come to the Coliseum. Their youthful roster has been on a roll as they swept the Mariners in Seattle. The green and gold are also rolling, coming off a clean sweep of their own against the Rockies in the Mile High City. The offense has been clicking as they hope to keep it going. They open up a 9-game homestand. It's game 1 of 3. A's Padres next. It's a gorgeous night for baseball in Oakland. We're at the O.K Coliseum, and it's the start of a 9-game homestand for the Athletics. Colin Cowgill, he's in the lineup tonight, and taking the mound for the Athletics will be the left-hander Travis Blackley. So it all gets started tonight. More interleague baseball. It's the San Diego Padres and the Oakland A's. You'll see it right here, coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Joining me this weekend on the broadcast will be Scott Hatterberg, and Ray Fosse will be back with us on Tuesday when the Dodgers come to town. But the A's back home, but they would have liked to stay at Coors Field for a while. What a series. They scored 26 runs, and Scott, right in the middle of it was Brandon Moss. He was terrific. 6 hits in the series. He hits 4 home runs. He looked pretty comfortable for the A's.
He looked really comfortable. I mean, it was a huge thing for us because first base has been a revolving door for the A's all season, and they're looking for someone to come in and just claim that job, and he made a great bid at it. In Colorado, absolutely crushed the ball. He said that the ball didn't seem to break as much. He looked patient. He let it come to him and just let his power take over, and he's got some power, and those weren't Colorado cheapies.
No, exactly. I mean, he hit the ball in the third deck and then in the second deck and then into the bullpen. So Brandon Moss, hot hitter, he'll hit 6th in the A's lineup tonight. For the Padres, they're a team that struggles scoring runs, but they do have a good hitter, Chase Headley. He hits in the third spot. He may get a little help from having Carlos Quinton hitting behind him.
Yeah, Chase has been kind of the lone slugger in the middle of that lineup, and he's done a pretty good job. I mean, guys come in and they have one guy to kind of pitch around, and he's shown some patience. He's got a good on-base percentage. He can leave the yard, and that's a big yard to leave. So he's definitely got some power, and it might even get better with Quinton hitting behind him now.
So those are the two guys you really got to stop. Carlos Quinton hitting 4th, and right ahead of him is Chase Headley hitting 3rd. So those are the two guys to watch in the San Diego Padres lineup. Padres have not been here at the Coliseum since 2000, so we welcome back here in 2012. Well, lineups at first pitch when we come back. It's the Oakland A's and the San Diego Padres interleague baseball coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
Now, Brandon Moss, well, he had to leave Coors Field. He had to return with his team, although the series he had, he may have wanted to stay there. He was terrific in Denver, so he'll try to carry it over here at the Coliseum. Let's check out the game time weather for tonight. It's brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 67 degrees after a very warm day all around the Bay Area, but it is an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball, with fireworks coming up after the game, so a nice crowd on hand as we get set for game one of this three-game series. The A's and the San Diego Padres. So interleague baseball, it's the National League West the A's are facing this year. Let's take a look at the lineup for the San Diego Padres tonight. It starts with former Athletic Chris Denorfia. He's in right field. Everett Cabrera is the shortstop. Then Headley, Quinton, we talked about them in the open. Jesus Guzman is the DH. Alonso, Maben, Hunley, and Amarista. So there's your San Diego Padres starting lineup.
On the mound for his fourth start is Travis Blackley. Blackley is ex-reliever. He's getting his feet wet starting. I think a big key for him is going to be get to that good curveball of his. He made Hamilton look pretty disgusted with it. So if he can get to that, establish that fastball, he's going to be pretty tough tonight.
So Blackley, the left-hander, will pitch for the Athletics. And defensively behind Blackley tonight, good outfield with Cowgill in left, Crispin center, Reddick in right, so lots of speed. Inge, Pennington, Weeks, and Moss around the infield with Kurt Suzuki doing the catching. So the umpires and Bud Black, Ty Waller still going over the ground rules, exchanging lineup cards. So both these teams coming off good series. The A's, of course, swept the Rockies. That was their first sweep of the year. And the San Diego Padres went up to Seattle and swept the Mariners. That was their first sweep of the season. So both teams, not as many wins as they would like, but they're playing well right now. We had some big news that just came across 5 minutes before we came on the air, and it has to do with Manny Ramirez. He requested his release from the Athletics, and the Athletics granted him that request. Now, he played in 17 games in Sacramento, and he never got to the big leagues with the Athletics. So, Scott, what are your thoughts on the move of not only Manny requesting the release and the A's granting it?
Well, I think he's just looking at it as a timeline and his time running out. I think the A's are waiting for him to see some of that bat speed and some of that power that they're in need of, and they were hoping that he still could bring to the team, and he just wasn't showing it. It just wasn't clicking. His average was getting up there a little bit, but the way the A's are swinging it right now, pieces are falling into place. He just did not have enough of that power potential to come up and help this team right now.
So that was the reports that the A's were getting, and quite frankly, it seemed like everybody was getting that maybe the bat speed just really wasn't there for Manny Ramirez.
Well, you get to 40, things are about to slow down a little bit, and I think it was just starting to be his time right now.
But we wish Manny Ramirez the best of luck, whatever he does into the future, but he never did get to the big leagues with the Athletics. So Manny Ramirez requested his release, and the A's granted it. So that's the big news from just moments ago. So we're set to go. Blackley's first pitch to Chris Denorfia is a bit outside, so we're underway from the O.co Coliseum, the A's and the Padres. Chris Denorfia playing right field. He's hitting .282, couple of home runs, 9 RBIs for Denorfia. Plays mostly against left-handed pitching. He'll be followed by Everett Cabrera and then Chase Headley. And that one called a strike. The delayed strike by Tim McClellan.
Ready for a treat.
Oh, yeah. Hanging there. Toward Weeks, who slides to his right, flips to first, and the ball game starts with a ground ball to Jamal Weeks. Take a look at the umpires. Indeed, Tim McClellan, the crew chief, is calling balls and strikes. Runge at first, Barrett at second, Malinsky at third. That's the group that was out there for the perfect game on Wednesday in San Francisco.
Well, let's hope they bring some magic tonight.
Yeah, maybe. Here's Everett Cabrera. Well, we talk a lot about Tim McClellan and the
delayed signal of a strike. And we've often talked about, does he indeed verbally say it's a strike at home plate so the hitter and the catcher know? Does he?
He does.
Okay.
He does it really quick. In fact, he's one of the quicker guys.
So is it a grunt? Is it a strike? Does he actually say strike ball? Or
it's victory?
All right. So he lets those guys down there know.
He does, and then he does that slow turn.
Well, the most important people that need to know, right? The catcher
they
and
know
the hitter.
first, right.
Well, we got that cleared up because we've wondered for a long time. Can't imagine the hitter and the catcher waiting as long as the rest of us. 3-0 now to Everett Cabrera, the shortstop. He's a switch hitter. Couple of home runs, 8 RBIs, and a .264 average for Cabrera. And there's a strike. Padres are 23-41. Now, as we said, they did sweep the Mariners, so they're sitting on a 3-game winning streak, but the 23-41 record is the second worst in major leagues. Only the Cubs have a worse record, so it's a young team and a struggling team, the San Diego Padres. They're 9-21 on the road and just 14-20 at home, so only 9 road wins this year for San Diego. Pitch is low, and it's a 1-out walk to Cabrera. Well, we got the Exmo camera tonight, which is awesome. And it's brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. You can get a close look at just about everything. So welcome Cache Creek Casino Resort, and we love having Exmo.
Very controlled delivery right there. I'd like to see him get ahead of some hitters here.
And if he does with Headley, Cabrera has a huge lead at first. Blackley's going that way, and
Cabrera's a threat to steal. He's got 9 this year.
There's Bud Black, longtime manager of the San Diego Padres. 6th season, and the Padres had the great year in 2010. Came up just a little short. Base hit for Headley as he finds the hole on the left side. Well, that's the guy we talked about in the open, Scott, and you just wonder how much it helps Headley having the guy in the on-deck circle hitting behind him, Carlos Quentin.
Well, you definitely don't want to fall behind this guy and get into a fastball count and have the chance of losing it, but you don't want to put him on either. So he gets a good fastball to hit. He finds the hole. Penny was playing up the middle a little bit for that double play, but he squeaked it by his left side.
So there's something to the protection thing of having a power hitter hitting behind you.
Oh, it completely does. It changes a pitcher and catcher's play calling. Hitters before and actually hitters afterward, especially if guys get on base.
So Quentin, remember, he missed a lot of time. He started the season on the disabled list, but since coming back, he has been very good. He's a strong hitter.
Powerful guy. Wants to get extended. When he does, loud noises happen.
He had surgery on his knee on the 19th of March. So he has just been back for a short time. He's played in 13 games, but 5 home runs. Came over from the White Sox in the offseason. And his name is all over the trade rumors, even though it's only the middle of June.
Yeah, he would be an enticing guy.
Oh, yeah.
Put in the middle of your lineup.
Well, he's playing left field, but he played a lot of right field with the White Sox. So you get the feeling, although the Padres say, well, they wouldn't mind offering him a contract extension. But you almost get the feeling you would not be surprised if Quentin got traded. Here's the numbers since coming back.
It's a pretty good pace. Pretty good pace. Pretty good pace for that yard, too. That's a big yard to leave.
Yeah, he doesn't have any problem leaving any yard. 29 years old, so he's really in the prime of his career.
That's the pitch Blackley needs to get to. If he can get that curveball going, it's going to get guys off that fastball.
Well, that's probably his best pitch. Big curveball. And that one's lined over Pennington's head into left field. Cowgill has it. He'll just flip it in as Cabrera comes around to score. And just like that, the Padres lead 1-0 as Carlos Quinton lines a single to left. Was not a terrible pitch, Scott. You look at the location, it was actually down around the knees, but boy, he's strong.
Oh, he's definitely strong, and he's more than that. He's a hitter. That ball caught more of the plate than he wanted, and he's a good low ball guy. Just too much plate right there. Lines it over short. It's a good RBI guy. He smells those RBIs.
So Quinton picks up his 11th. Cabrera scores. Still just one out for Jesus Guzman. Guzman hits one high to left center field. Chris over. He's got it. Headley goes back, bluffs a tag, stays at second. So Guzman flies out for out number 2.
Guzman swinging early. That was a pretty good pitch. Probably Blackley trying to not be too fine and get ahead, but that ball was right down the middle, and he just missed it.
Yeah, he didn't miss it by a lot. He hit a fly ball like that up in the air to center field. He didn't miss it by a whole lot.
Nope.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah. Zook wanted it in and kind of tie him up a little bit. And one thing you don't want is Guzman getting extended. He got extended there, just cut the bottom half.
So here's Yonder Alonso. Padres very excited about this young man, hitting .265 with a couple of home runs. He was part of the big trade. Remember, the Padres traded Matt Latos to Cincinnati. Yeah, that's a pretty good pitcher. And they got this young man back, and he's been really one of the top prospects in baseball for a couple of years.
He's definitely a pull hitter. They got him shifted pretty good to the right side. Penny's almost behind second base.
Well, we've seen a lot of shifts this year by not just the A's, but almost every team that we see. There's no question they're playing more shifts than we've seen in the past, and the A's doing it as well.
All those numbers, you get those tendencies. Pitch to the defense.
It's blocked by Suzuki, rolls away. Well, I can't imagine even maybe 5-6 years ago there was as many defensive charts and that type of thing as there is now.
You could count on one hand the guys that were shifted, the Mo Vaughns and certain guys that just refused to do anything else. So it's the tendencies have changed definitely, and they're seeing it through all the statistics they're accumulating.
Breaking ball stays high, and it's 3-1 to Alonso. Headley at second, Quinton at first. Padres with the first inning run.
Blackley's really searching right now. Look at that slider. Release points a little deep right now. He's getting around some balls.
There's a shot hit right over second base, but luckily Pennington is playing there, so the shift works. Pennington throws out Alonso. A run on a couple of hits and a walk for the Padres. Bottom of the first coming up, 1-0 San Diego. The Athletics lineup for tonight. Coco Crisp hitting in the leadoff spot. And Weeks will hit second. Then Reddick, Smith, Inge, Moss, Suzuki, Cowgill, and Pennington.
Anthony Bass, right-hander pitcher, a lot like Blackley. It was an ex-reliever that is now taking the mound. Basically a two-pitch guy, but he's got a changeup that he's adding to the mix, which is really going to help as he starts. The slider is what he really wants to get to. This thing is filthy, and he can throw it for a strike. So expect to see a lot of those. And the fastball's pretty straight. It'll sit around 92 miles an hour.
So Anthony Bass, 24-year-old right-hander, takes the mound against the Athletics. And Coco Crisp steps in. So Crisp, Weeks, and Reddick here in the bottom of the first inning. So Coco hit in the leadoff spot yesterday in Colorado. Went 3 for 6. So Bob Melvin says it worked yesterday. I'm going to keep him in the leadoff spot for tonight's game.
Absolutely. Don't change a thing. No.
Coco hitting 186 with a homer, 12 RBIs. And Jamal Weeks waiting in the on-deck circle. Well, Coco Crisp has been a good hitter his whole career, and then you see a guy hitting 170, 180, and you just know that when it's all said and done, it's going to even out. He's too good of a hitter. I mean, this is a guy who's been a good hitter for 7-8 years of his career.
Yeah, he just doesn't wake up one day and all of a sudden he's not a good hitter. I know that, you know, he's missed some time, and you know, he's in a kind of new environment. The way things have gone this year, he's gonna get back there. You know, just get yourself in a hole like that, it's tough to get back to the actual career average. But I see this guy getting hot here in probably not too distant future.
Yeah, maybe yesterday was the start with the 3-hit game. Overall in that Colorado series, he was 4 for 11. Some Padre fans. And the 3-2 pitch is high, and it's a leadoff walk. Here's the defense for the Padres tonight. Quinton in left, Maben in center, Denorfia in right. Headley, Cabrera, Amarista, Alonso around the infield third to first. And Nick Hundley is the catcher. So Bass walks the leadoff man, and that'll bring up Jamal Weeks. Jamal Weeks' average is also climbing, 224 now. It was down to 180 for a while. Coco bluffed going, took about 3 steps toward first, and then toward second, then spun around, went back to first.
Fakes the steal. Didn't see something he liked. Got fooled a bit. An error on the safe side and back to the value line.
Coco leaning like he always does, but not going. And the bunt attempt is fouled right at the plate. Got a special guest that's going to be coming up in the top of the third inning. The A's #1 draft pick, Addison Russell, who signed a contract today. He's at the ballpark. He worked out with the A's before the game, and he's going to come up and join us in the broadcast booth again in the top of the third inning. So we'll look forward to that. Addison Russell, impressive young man. So, don't want to miss that.
Hopefully see him in some white shoes
soon. Yeah,
soon.
Well, he looked good in the uniform today.
He sure did. I was talking to Chip Haley before the game. He hit him some ground balls, and he looked pretty dynamic and pretty athletic.
How can
like
you not?
Combo.
How can you not watch the #1 draft pick, even if he's only 18 years old? You're like curious. You're like, wow, there he is. I want to check him out. So he was out at short today, taking ground balls. Coco runs, pitches up and in to throw to second base, not in time. And Coco Crisp has another stolen base. It's been a long time since he's been thrown out.
Well, Hundley couldn't do much with that. That was a great jump. Even got rid of it pretty quick. No chance. That ball's right on the bag. The good thing about that, if you're Hundley and the Padres, is you're going to keep those guys that maybe are borderline base stealers at bay. So that was a nice throw, but you're not going to catch Coco when he gets that kind of jump.
So you get a good jump and you're a good base stealer. you're probably going to make it.
You're going to get there, unless you are facing a pitcher that is really quick to the plate, and then you got a guy with a howitzer behind the plate, and there's just not many of those guys.
July 10th of last year, the last time Coco Crisp got thrown out trying to steal. So that's
efficient.
That is good. And he can steal them when everybody knows he's going to steal.
Yeah, that's the sign of a real base stealer.
2-2 to Jamal, who rolls it foul. Looks like Jamal is starting to come out of it a little bit, though.
He's a guy, you know, came into the league and just kind of tore it up, took the league by storm. The thing is, when you come to this league, they adjust, and you're going to adjust your entire career. They've adjusted how they've pitched him, and it's just his turn. The ball's in his court, and he's going to adjust. He's just way too good a hitter. And I think we're seeing him kind of make those adjustments now and creep out of this. He's looking for a ball to pull here.
Well, if you're a second-year guy and you have a big first year and you struggle for 2 months, I mean, that can be difficult on a young player.
Mentally, it's really tough, and you know, it's unfortunate because he's on a team that's struggling. So
that's right.
It kind of becomes viral.
Yeah, you want to do more. You want to do more.
Right. And you know, you did so well last year. You feel that way, like you could do more. It's just the one thing you don't want to do is try and be somebody you're not.
He is a very confident young man, and he has never seemed real down. 3-2 pitches, line past Ty Waller.
Head out there.
You know what, though? If you're a veteran player, if you were on an A's team and you see Jamal Weeks scuffling, do you keep an eye on him as a veteran player and maybe say, hey, maybe I need to go talk to him? He looks like he's down a little bit.
If he was, it's definitely something you would do. You try not to say, hey, you look down. You know, you approach it maybe more tactfully.
There's an art to
There is
to
an
approach
art. There's a complete art, and usually it's not in the baseball locker room or in the atmosphere. You kind of get away so they don't press. But that's a great at-bat right there. Fouled off some great pitches. Wanted to get him over. Battled. There's a walk, and there's 2 speedsters on. Good start for the A's.
So here's Reddick. So Nick Hundley goes out to chat with his starting pitcher, Anthony Bass. And there's one guy doing the most of the talking, and that's Hundley.
Well, he's telling him, be careful here. You know, he's been getting behind a lot like Blackley was. You don't want to get behind this guy. Same thing could happen when you get to the middle of this order.
Well, Anthony Bass started out the season pretty well, but he has not pitched well as of late. His last 4 starts, he's allowed 19 runs in 21 innings, so he's a struggling pitcher right now. And he began the year, and he was a couple trips out of the bullpen and then into the rotation. And he's in trouble here in the first inning. Reddick helped him out. First home run in the month of June yesterday for Reddick.
Sometimes when you're pressing a little bit, or when you're a home run hitter in 1 month and all of a sudden you're not, you try to become that home run hitter. He's too good a hitter. I heard him talking down by the batting cage, and he's good enough to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but he's good enough to be a guy who hit for average.
Shot, right fair there. Ball down the right field line. Coco Crisp will score. Weeks is digging a third. They're going to wave him home. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is safe with a slide. Reddick to third with a 2-run triple. So the A's take the lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first.
That's a clutch at bat right there. Gets him a fastball over the plate. Might have tried to do too much with that earlier in the month. Gets on top. Hits a little top spin liner down the line. Shows off those white shoes and those wheels.
So Reddick gets RBIs 32 and 33, and Bass, 3 batters into the game, has already had a visit from his catcher, and now he's got a visit from his pitcher.
Well, he's out of sorts with that fastball. He's just not able to locate it in early counts, get ahead of guys. He's having to, he missed there right over the plate with men on first and second. Probably exactly what Hundley came out and said we don't want to do, and especially to Reddick.
Coco scoring from second, and it's fun to watch those two guys run when they're on base and the ball's hitting the corner of the gap.
They kind of look like the Geico's legs, the Geico guy, you know, they're like a blur.
And it's good to see Jamal running 100% too.
Absolutely. Speed does not slump.
So here's Seth Smith, another guy who had a huge series in Colorado. 5 for 11 with a homer, 4 RBIs, 3 doubles. So that got his average all the way up to 272. And he hits it toward first. Reddick freezes at third, so that will not get the job done as Smith is retired. Boy, that has to be frustrating for a hitter, because if you hit it to anywhere in the middle of the diamond, they're giving you an RBI.
Right. He got a pitch to hit too, and he just rolled it over. He didn't stay through it. He would like to have that pitch back. Definitely. That's a time when a team's not hitting real well, and you've given one of these guys at third with less than 2 outs, you want to get those guys in.
There's the struggles that we talked about with Bass.
He's throwing that curveball more early in the count, trying to get that early strike, get ahead of guys.
Infield comes in for the Padres, and that one is a strike, 1-1 the count.
Pretty good changeup.
Another off-speed pitch, so 3 straight off-speed pitches.
Yeah, he's going to something else. That slider change combo. Trying to get Inge to chase, get something on the ground.
And there's a shot, center field, base hit. Reddick trots home, and Inge has an RBI single. It's 3-1 A's.
Nice piece of hit, and didn't try to do too much with it. Got a fastball. Served it nicely in the center. Got the RBI. Picked up Mr. Smith.
Inge just serving it out there.
Pretty
so
good
funny.
pitch.
Finally got a fastball.
He got a fastball.
To center field.
Got a fastball, and it's not a bad pitch. Outer third. But that's a professional hitter right there. Guy who lights RBIs.
So here's Moss, who takes a big rip at the first pitch, rolls it foul. Now Brandon Moss, the story of the series in Colorado. 6 for 13 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs.
Wow.
Well, the A's as a team in that 3-game series versus the Rockies had 35 hits. They scored 26 runs, and they hit 9 home runs. They also had 9 doubles. So it was we're going to have a lot of fun kind of series at Coors Field.
I think the trainer's got to work out packing ice on all those legs.
Yep. But you never know. Maybe a trip to Coors Field will indeed get the offense going. So 26 runs in 3 games. So they were going up against a team that's really struggling, and you take advantage of it. You pounded them pretty good.
That's what you want to do. You don't want to go to a bad team and play down to the competition. You want to kick them when they're down, I guess.
Yep. Now, you said you played at Coors Field a handful of times, so you know what it's like to hit there.
It is a great place to hit.
Drive to right. Going back is Donofrio. That baby is gone. He's done it again. Sixth home run for Brandon Moss, and he's done it in 9 games.
That's a pretty good pace. That ball was stepped on. Here he is, gets a changeup, I believe, down and in, and that is some serious bat speed. I can hear that up here. That had a different sound to it. That ball jumped out of here. I don't think it matters what field he's in.
Still just 1 out. So sit next to Brandon Moss if you're in a slump.
I would sit on his lap. Ask for things for Christmas. That guy's on fire.
Well, they keep dropping it into his hit zone, and he keeps whacking it.
He can definitely hammer a ball inside, especially low and in. But the great part of that is it's an off-speed pitch. He stays back on, stays through it. A lot of times he comes off the ball, at least in spring training. I loved his swing, but he was just trying to force the power issue. As long as he doesn't do that.
Then you go right to the manager.
Then you go to the manager.
Tell him how good you are.
Uh-huh. Maybe I should move up in the lineup, Coach.
Bob Evans, stop buying any of it.
Melvin, smart man.
Yeah, I got
Superstitious. Stay where you're at. Great load. Man. You can't draw it up any better than that. That is balanced. That is through it. That's electric. Strong man.
Still laughing at the look on Bob Melvin's face. Yeah, I know.
Went a long way.
I know you want to hit fourth tomorrow, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yep, Rosie, keep talking to him.
Rosie, don't you think I should be hitting fourth? I mean, I just told the manager that, and Rosie's too nice of a guy. He's going to agree with him. Now, what could possibly be going on?
Hey, Coach. You can't hit the second deck?
Yeah.
Oh, put me in the cleanup spot tomorrow. I'll hit the second deck.
All right, I got to manage. Go sit down.
Enough. Get some juice, kid.
1-2 to Cowgill. 259 for Colin. This one foul territory. See if Alonso's got a play. He goes into a slide and he makes a very nice play. So Yadier Alonso makes the nice catch, but not before the A's score 5 times. The last 2 coming on Brandon Moss's home run. Hits all over the place for the Athletics. 5-1 after 1. Coors Field score. And we're not at Coors Field anymore. Cameron Maben to lead it off.
Don't tell them.
No. Act like you're at Coors. So Maben, Hundley, and Emerista here in the second inning. Bottom 3 in the order for the Padres. Good pitch there. Fastball on the inside corner. Struggling is Cameron Maben, hitting just .214, and remember, this is the guy the Padres gave a long-term extension to as a guy who last year's first full year in the big leagues. Moss handles a tough hop.
Really toolsy guy.
Time now for our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Scott question. Peter from Orinda asked, welcome, Scott. Just wanted to know what you've been doing since you retired from playing baseball. All right. Pete from Orinda wants to know, so what have you been doing? I know you're working for the A's, right?
I am. I took a couple years off. Became a taxi driver for my kids. I got sick of being a taxi driver, so now I'm getting back involved. Billy's been really nice about letting me try a bunch of different things. So I'm a special assistant to baseball operations is my title. And spring training, I spend some time in uniform with the player development guys, both the minor league and major league side. And then I go out and hit the road and get ready for that amateur draft. And
so you saw a lot of young players then?
Saw a lot of young guys, stayed in a lot of Marriotts. And I built up a lot of points and saw a lot of the guys and the kid that we're seeing today. I'm excited about, and I think everybody in that draft room is excited about. So I spent that time, and now I'm going to do a little pro scouting this summer.
Okay.
Get out and see some of the affiliates. It'll be fun.
So try a bunch of stuff, see which one you like. Maybe you like them all, right? Who knows?
That's right. Yeah, kind of see.
1-1 to Nick Huntley. So you enjoyed, though, the amateur scouting and seeing high school kids, college kids?
Really enjoyed it. I mean, the travel's tough, but it's very fun to go into some of these college ballparks, these high school kids that are just, they stand out. It's pretty exciting, and then putting them in order. Some good players out there right now.
Well, for a guy who had a long career in the major leagues where you're staying in nice hotels, you're flying charters, are you surprised that you enjoyed the amateur scouting so much?
I think it's kind of a puzzle. I mean, it's such a up in the air thing. It's not precise as far as the science. So there's a lot I'm learning. I mean, usually my scouting was trying to figure out what a guy's going to do today, let alone what a guy's going to do, 5 years from now. So that's been an adjustment.
Nice play by Colin Cowgill as he goes back to get it. Well, some more goodies on our broadcast partner this weekend, Scott Hatteberg. A Red Sox to start his career. Pretty good career batting average, but the years with the A's, your most fun?
Definitely my most fun. Yeah. Definitely. Winning's always fun. I had a good time my whole career, but it was just felt like home here.
And now, you're like half legendary. One swing of the bat, baby.
One swing, right. Don't hit many, just hit them the right time.
There was more than just that once. This is Alexi Amarista. And he lines one, and that's fair, and Amarista can fly.
He can fly.
I'd be real surprised if he's not standing at third. And he's going to slide for me, and he's in there easily with a triple.
Good call, Glenn.
He can scoot.
He can scoot. He smelled it as soon as he hit it, as soon as he left the box.
So it's a 2-out triple for Alexi Amarista.
That's how I used to run, right there.
Cut the bag
and pull
at
up
first.
to the second base. Wow. And that's scoop.
So here's Denorfia. Denorfia led off the game with a ground out. So now you're going to do more major league scouting, which is basically just keeping an eye on all the players in the big leagues. If Billy says, hey, you saw this guy play, do you like him? What do you think?
So it's major league, minor league scouting.
Okay.
So we'll make sure we get everybody covered. So we got eyes and reports on everybody heading into the deadline, the trade deadline, and make sure that if there's some guys out there we might want to make a move, we got an idea of what they're doing these days.
So you need to know if somebody wants one of your veteran players and it's a certain team, you need to know who that team has in their minor league system.
That's right. Who can we steal from them?
Gotcha. Well, that's not an exact science either.
Completely.
You know, I mean,
I mean, we're guessing a high school kids is hard.
That one bounced up the middle into center field. A base hit, and trotting home is Amarista. So Denorfia just bounced one right through the middle of the diamond, and it's 5-2.
Now batting, number 2.
Well, not a bad pitch.
Cabrera.
Penny was shaded to third a little bit. Got enough on it to squeak it up the middle. That's what speed does. Double might keep him at second. Amarista legs it out to third. They get a knock. They get a run.
So Denorfia gets his 10th RBI. And here's Everett Cabrera. So when you're scouting guys that are already in pro ball in the minor leagues, do you look at statistics a little bit more as opposed to looking at a high school kid that you may want to draft and say, well, I think this kid may be good because he looks like he's going to do this one. Whereas in the minor leagues, you have at least statistics to look at and say, well, this kid, he has good numbers.
Right, they definitely mean more.
Yeah, exactly.
The competition's better. Sometimes you go to these small high schools and the guy's got all these tools and they're hitting, 850 or something. It's hard to project that. So you go by the tools a lot. Numbers help. They plead your case, but they're not as important as the minor league guys. There's just less projection there. Physically, they're more mature. A lot of their game is kind of going where it's headed or where it's going to be. Still not easy.
Well, you don't want the GM to call you and ask you about a guy in the minor leagues. You want to be right. You want to be accurate.
You want to be right.
Big swing and a miss by Cabrera.
Well, he leaves nothing in the bag here. Almost came out of the shoes. Good aggressive hack.
And that one is low, 2-2. So 40 pitches already for Travis Blackley. And
lots of deep counts, having a tough time locating that fastball. Get that big inning. It's always nice to go out there, shut him down, 3 up, 3 down, get the bats going again.
And you're going to have Denorfia picked off, and toward Weeks. Weeks will run it back, and Blackley, the pitcher, is going to make the tag side retired. But a run for the Padres, so we're headed to the bottom of the second. It's 5-2 Athletics. And here's our fourth right choice. It's the A's #1 draft pick this year, Addison Russell from Pace High School in Florida. He signed his contract today, the 11th pick in the draft. 6'1", 195 pounds, and he's sitting right next to us, and we're excited about that. Addison, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Green and Gold. So you signed the contract today. Everything's official.
Yes, sir.
All right. How's it feel?
It feels amazing. You know, I've been waiting all my life for this moment, and it's great that I'm here right now.
How much fun did you have today? I saw you playing short. You had the uniform on, the white shoes. You were looking good. How much fun was it?
Yes, sir. It was a lot of fun. I met all the guys down there. I talked to a few guys down there in the clubhouse, and they're all pretty cool. And it was just surreal, just taking ground balls and hitting in the turtle, you know. So it was cool.
Did you have a favorite team growing up?
No, sir. I just kind of followed everyone. I didn't really have a favorite team.
No, you know, you look good out there today. I was watching you take ground balls, and I even talked to Chip Hale. He said, that's pretty poised and pretty mature for a guy to go down there and look that smooth and show off that arm. How'd you feel? I
felt good. My arm feels good, and I feel like I'm in the best shape that I've been. So I feel really good.
How about hitting in this big ballpark?
It was cool.
It's pretty big, huh?
Yes, sir.
You look good, though. You look really good.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's check out Addison today. He does look good. Were you nervous?
I was pretty nervous.
Did you get one out of there?
No, sir.
Well, we'll save it when you come on up here and then just use them all then.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So tell us about draft day. Obviously, there's 30 teams out there. Did you have any idea where you were going to go? And tell us how you heard the news and your reaction.
No, sir. I didn't have any idea who I was going to. My advisor said the team that drafts me, I probably have never talked to them. I've never came in to the house. On draft day, I was having a graduation party. I invited the whole high school baseball team and friends and family, and they all came. And whenever they called my name, I was just like, did they just say my name? everyone in the room was just ecstatic, and it all felt surreal.
Well, that's a good graduation present.
Yes, sir.
Well, you guys were ecstatic. We were ecstatic in that room. And you might not have talked to anybody, but a lot of guys saw you, and there was nothing but raves. So I know everybody here is really excited to have you. But I got a question. Addison Russell. I think there's a congressman in Connecticut named Addison Russell. We need to get you a nickname. What, you got one?
People just call me Addy.
Addy?
Yes,
okay.
The politician?
Addy. Okay.
So you got an early morning tomorrow. You said you have to get up early and you're headed to Phoenix. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. Well, my flight's around 6 a.m., so I'm going to wake up around 4 o'clock, get ready. And,
hopefully wake up at 4, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Pack my bags and get on the plane and head to Phoenix.
So what's going on in Phoenix, and how long will you be there?
I'll be in rookie ball. I'll be in there for 2.5 to 3 months. And then I get to fly back home, stay there for a few weeks, and then instructional ball.
Okay. So you'll be in Phoenix the entire summer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got you.
And you're from Florida.
Yes, sir.
So you can handle the heat.
I can handle the heat. I'm used to the humidity, but everyone I've been talking to said it's going to be a dry heat. I'm not used to that, so
it is a dry heat. There is a difference. You will realize that. We joke about the dry heat, but it is a dry heat.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
find out.
You know, it's just hot.
Yes, sir. I like it better than the cold, so that's fine with me.
Good for you.
So Pensacola, Florida, right? That's
yes,
where you're from?
Yes, sir.
Now, you had a full scholarship to Auburn. Terrific school. Good baseball program.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any thought that, hey, even though I'm a #1 draft pick and I'm going to get a nice paycheck, but I wouldn't mind going to Auburn? Did that tear at you at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I fell in love with the coaches. I fell in love with the atmosphere. The people there are really, really nice. It reminds me of home. They offered me a 4-year scholarship, so it's not year to year. So that's something that was new. Me and David Dahl both got that, and he got picked 10th overall. I got picked 11th overall, so back-to-back 2 Auburn commits. And Coach P was just happy for us, the head coach at Auburn. He supported us, and he just wants us to succeed.
Sure he was.
So.
He was like, no way, those guys are...
So last year, you, I heard, gained a lot of weight. This year you slimmed down. What was the reason? And it was you planned to gain weight, get stronger. What was that? What was the feeling there?
Basically, I just wanted to gain more power at the plate, you know, and I did. I left heavy weights. I got really, really strong in the legs and the upper body, and I started going to showcases, and coaches started moving me over to third base, and I didn't like that all too much. I think third base is a great position. you have to have a lot. You have to have a lot of power to be there. But I wanted to show off a little bit more of my athletic ability, my arm, my range, my speed. So that was my initiative to lose that weight. And basically, I did yoga, Pilates, Zumba. I dieted. I ran a lot. And it was hard to cut down the weight, but I'm down to 190 to 195 now. So I'm doing pretty good.
I don't want to make it sound like you were a tubby running around there. No, you were a strong man, and you were still a strong man. I was just curious about the body change. But definitely, you look great.
Yes, sir.
And you look great moving around at shortstop, and I think you're going to stay there.
Yes, sir. I do, too.
Toward left field. Foul territory, caught made. Addison Russell, A's first-round draft pick. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you at the Coliseum, what, a couple years maybe?
Yes, sir. Hopefully.
All right.
Great to meet you, Addison.
Great to meet you.
Good luck. Top of the third from the Coliseum. The A's with a 5-2 lead over the Padres. Cabrera bunts it foul. Scott Hatterberg, Glenn Kuiper. You're watching A's baseball here in Comcast Sportsnet California. Nice to visit with Addison Russell, the A's #1 draft pick. Very polite young man. I tapped him on the shoulder to say goodbye, and he's put together. Strong kid.
Oh, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a prick.
Yes, he is.
I've never been called sir so much. Kind of liking that. Maybe you should call me sir.
You know what? If you want me to, I will. That's right. But nice young man. We wish him the best of luck. High school shortstop from Pensacola, Florida.
Athletic kid. Good arm. Good run. He's got everything. Easy scouting.
Cabrera, Edley, and Quinton. Now, you said you did not see him in person, but his name was all over the place.
We had so many guys going in to see him, and in fact I was going to see him, but I got rained out on part of the trip I was on trying to see another guy, so I had to stay to see that guy. It's a real shift on the fly type of thing. Eric Kubota, our director, he does such a good job getting everybody in the right spot. But we had lots of eyes on him. I watched a lot of video. Very likable.
Two and two to Cabrera, who walked and scored in the first inning. Padres have scored single runs in the first and second. Blackley pitching from the stretch, and that one is just a shade low. 3-2. Close pitch.
Close pitch. Had to wait for Timmy on that one.
Four hits for the Mariners, 3 hits for the A's. chop toward Inge, who moves to his left, guns it across, and that's out number one. Ace Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Ford, with 3 models delivering 40 miles per gallon or better. Beautiful look at the Bay Area. It was nice and warm today, and it's supposed to be very warm tomorrow and Sunday.
I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, day games between the A's and the Padres tomorrow and Sunday. We'll have them both for you here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Headley had a base hit in the first inning. Padres have done well in interleague play this year. They're 5-1. Of course, we mentioned they swept the Seattle Mariners, but they also took 2 out of 3 from the Angels. Inge charges, but he's going to let it roll foul. The A's, on the other hand, are 4-5 in interleague play, thanks to that 3-game sweep of the Rockies. This homestand is all about interleague play. 3 against the Padres. A day off on Monday. The Dodgers having a terrific season. They come to town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the Giants, who are also playing good baseball, they will be here over the weekend. So good homestand for the Athletics, since he's trying to get to that 500 mark. They got a little work to do yet.
They got some work to do. They got tough teams coming in after this. You don't want to look beyond this series, but this is a team right here you'd like to take at least 2 out of 3 from.
1-2 to Headley. I know we always say it up here in the broadcast booth, Scott. You can't talk about anything until you get to 500. Is that a player's mentality as well? Is that kind of the magic spot to get to, and then you can talk about, hey, getting yourself in contention or that kind of thing?
Well, it's definitely a goal, especially when you're under 500. And you've kind of gone through some slumps, being it offensively or pitching staff, whichever one you're going through. You're trying to get back to that goal. You can see that at the light at the end of the tunnel there.
Carlos.
So Blackley gets his first strikeout, goes up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah, it was, that pitch right there is because he's able to throw that curveball. He threw a couple nice curveballs for a strike. It makes the hitter not give up on those balls up in the zone. So when they see it and they don't recognize that's a fastball till a little late, they're going to be late on that fastball. So it's very important for him to establish that pitch.
2 outs for Carlos Quinton. Quinton had an RBI single in the first inning. Stays with the breaking ball and gets Quinton to swing and miss.
Good breaking ball, good depth, good spot. Low and in quadrant. Starts high, drops out of the zone. Perfect spot. Good pitch. Now he doesn't know what to look for. Exactly where you want to keep him.
That one. Cutter runs inside, 2-1. Guzman would be next if Quinton can get aboard. Blackley trying to have a 3-up, 3-down inning. That one bounced toward Inge, who scoops it up. And that is indeed a 3-up, 3-down inning. So Blackley gets what he needs. And we're playing headed to the bottom of the third. It'll be Smith, Inge, and then Brandon Moss. 5-2 Athletics. A's lead 5-2, bottom of the third. A's scoring all 5 of their runs in the first. Smith, Inge, and Moss. That changeup kind of floats in their first strike.
Good first pitch. That set might be aggressive, really.
Smith turns on it toward right field. Denorfia near the wall. He's going to have just enough room, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
A's fans, bring your kids out to the Coliseum tomorrow when the A's play the Padres. 7,500 kids will receive a pair of A's knee-high striped socks presented by Ross. For more information and tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com/tickets.
So that's tomorrow, and that's a 1:05 start here at the Coliseum. And the knee-high socks, the giveaway. 1 out for Brandon Inge, and Inge takes the strike. He had an RBI single in the first, and then he scored on Moss's home run. 32 RBIs now for Inge. He hits this one hard on the ground to Cabrera, and that's out number 2. So that'll bring up Brandon Moss, and another home run for Moss, and this was in the first inning, a 2-run shot. Down and in.
Down and in. That's his honey hole right there. Crunch. You need to get this guy up with guys on base right now.
So, with all the video, and the Padres watch Brandon Moss hit 4 home runs in 3 games at Coors Field, you know it's the hot spot, down and in. It makes you say, how can you throw the pitch there?
Well, there'll be that meeting over the post-game spread.
Too late.
Exactly. But that's an adjustment he's going to have to make, and you're exactly right. People around the league are going to see where he likes to hit the ball, and he's not going to see many of those pitches, especially if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Now, granted, that's probably not where the catcher wanted it, down and in, obviously,
but it's a zone that each pitcher that's going to come in is going to know how much damage can be done in that zone. Because if it goes right down in there, that was a changeup. He's a little out in front, but you could see where his head and his shoulder and his bat, he was extended. He was looking for another one.
The 2-1 pitch, and that one on the outside corner. So 2-2, 5 in a row retired by Anthony Bass. And he's trying to settle in after that 5-run first inning. That one's hit well to left field, but Quinton is right there. So hit on a line. So 3 up, 3 down innings. So Bass gets that. It's still 5-2 after 3. who was the last A's player before Brandon Moss to hit 4 home runs in a series. Moss did it at Coors Field. We'll let you know. Guzman to lead it off, followed by Alonso and Maben. A's with a 5-2 lead. Big breaking ball, and it's outside. 1-0. Guzman hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning. Another breaking ball, and that one's a strike. Texas has won their game. They beat the Astros 6-2. The Rangers have already got their win. Arizona leading the Angels 1-0 in the 4th inning. That game in Anaheim. It's Cahill for the Diamondbacks, Herron for the Angels. So a couple of former Athletics going at it. Angels starting a 9-game homestand. Giants and the Mariners are playing in Seattle. San Francisco leading 2-0. Foul tip. Back to the screen. Guzman had a big swing.
There's that elevated fastball again. Gets a couple of early curve balls. Makes that fastball up pretty hard deep in the count.
Good breaking ball, and that's strikeout number 2 for Jesus Guzman, or Blackley gets Guzman. Well, coming up tonight on the A's post-game live show, it's the A-Team. It'll be Scott and myself. We'll be joined by Ken Cork and Vince Cotroneo from the radio side. We'll sit down and talk about the game. So join us for the A-Team coming up on A's post-game live. Also be on the radio simulcast on 95.7. Like to do it every Friday night. There's Vince Cotroneo. He's in charge of the A-Team. He's the leader of the A-Team. He's our Mr. T.
Mr. T?
Yeah.
Was he the one in charge?
Well, I don't know if he was in charge. We just wanted to call Vinny Mr. T.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
Hannibal was the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Right? Who's got the van?
We'll ask Vinny if he would rather be Hannibal or Mr. T. Is he more George Peppard or more Mr. T?
Good question.
Or more Clubber Lang?
Could have some B.A. Baracus. Murdoch face.
It's a good show.
Great
we
show.
think it's a good show as well on
Still a good show.
A's post-game live. So join us for that. One and two to Yonder Alonso. That one bounced toward Weeks, who backhands, juggles, throws, and they just got him. Nice play.
It's a great play right there. It's kind of a communication play with that shift like it is. Probably Pennington's ball. I don't know if he communicated or not, but he hits this ball. Typically, it's Jamal's ball all the way, but Penny's coming across. He's so close that he probably never even thought Penny would be in that position. But he makes a great play nonetheless with a double clutch. Good arm, athleticism. That's how you get him out. Nice play.
2 outs for Maben. 5 in a row retired by Travis Blackley. Remember, he threw a lot of pitches in the first inning and was able to settle down since then.
Really getting some feel for that off-speed stuff right now, early in the count. He's establishing that. Fastball was tough, but he's getting ahead with some of that off-speed stuff, settling in nicely.
Is there anything better than an off-speed pitch for a strike early in the count, even if it's the first pitch?
It's the greatest time. I mean, if you can throw a slow get me over, it just so many guys dismiss it right out of the gate. That it's an easy strike one. And if you look at the percentages, when you go 1-0 as opposed to 0-1, it's huge. Strike one's huge.
1-2 to Maben, who bounced out to first. First at bat, and he checks his swing. 2-2. Maben just 3 hits in his last 19 at bats. And now he's worked it full. Right at 70 now, the pitch count. Not a great ball strike ratio, 40 balls, 30 strikes. 3-2 pitch is low, and it's a 2-out walk. And Maben is fast.
He is really fast.
And the Padres are a team that likes to steal bases. They have 56 steals as a team. That's the second most in the National League. So they don't hit home runs. They have the fewest home runs hit in the NL, but the second most steals.
Maben's got 14. If you're not getting a lot of hits, you got to get in scoring position somehow. And that's what they're doing. They're running.
If you play in their ballpark, if you've ever been there, it's a huge ballpark, and it's a place where if you sit and wait for home runs, it's probably not going to happen. It's the most steals in the majors. So the Padres 7 ahead of the Athletics.
Well, both teams don't hit a ton of home runs, so they gotta find it elsewhere. This park doesn't play as big, but the ball was hit. It plays big. It doesn't quite play as big as San Diego, but it plays big. And if you can't hit it out, you gotta find another way to get in scoring position. That is getting the head out, and that will get out of any ballpark, but it fortunately curls foul.
So 0-1 to Nick Hundley. Swing and a miss. 0-2, 92 miles an hour.
You get that steady diet of the off speed early. That ball, I know, was 92, but it probably looked more like 95, 96.
So there's that off speed pitch early in the count.
He's kind of changed it up. Couldn't get that fastball established early. Establishes the breaking stuff.
Overthrew that one a little bit. 1-2.
Pitches backwards. Likes to elevate with 2 strikes with that fastball.
Do you do it once, or do you do it back to back? Is that dangerous?
You can do it back to back. I think a lot of it depends on how the hitter reacts. If he takes a swing, if he doesn't take a swing as a catcher, a lot of times that's his call. Depends on how he's feeling with the location. That slider's been pretty good too. He's throwing that a little harder, and he's really putting that in a nice strike zone, low and in. There's a change there, low and away. That was a good piece of hitting, just a lay off.
So the count is even, 2-2. Maben has a good lead at first. This one's popped up right side. Moss is going to just run out of room. Drops right into the first row. Oh, Scott, you know all about that run, huh?
I do, and I ended up like Moss usually. just a little short. It's all right, kid. Just keep hitting homers.
Huffing and puffing. You had to be walking back going, I'm so sick of that foul territory.
I'm so sick of that foul territory, not catching him. I had Mark Ellis, though, to my right. He was pretty good. I'd just start yelling, Ellie, 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 help me.
And Ellie was such a nice guy. He felt like he needed to help you.
Blackley's got a good move. He's keeping Maben at bay. He hangs there nicely.
Only hit a fly ball to left field. His first at bat. It's way outside. So now it's 3-2. So that'll get Maben on the move. And Marista is in the on-deck circle.
Maven on the move is trouble. This ball finds an alley.
There he goes, and it's hit toward the alley, but Shep Cowgill is there. He's got it, side retired. Runner stranded. Bottom of the fourth coming up. It'll be Suzuki, Cowgill, and Pennington. 5-2 Athletics.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroad. Salute Dad and Father's Day by treating him to a ride on a steam train through the Redwoods and an old-fashioned chuck wagon barbecue. RoaringCamp.com. Beautiful night at the ballpark. Fireworks coming up after the game. And it's the A's with a 5-2 lead against the Padres. Bottom of the fourth inning, it'll be Suzuki, Cowgill, and Pennington. Suzuki struck out looking in the first inning, the only strikeout by Bass so far. Two and 0. That was pitch number 61 from Anthony Bass, who was retired 6 in a row.
Yeah, both pitchers kind of got off to slow starts with the command, and both seemed to have settled in after that first inning.
Swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour, but looked like it maybe
had a little cut on it, didn't
cut.
it? Yeah.
Sometimes pitcher doesn't even know he's cutting it.
I think he knows it. He's got it in the repertoire.
Oh, the bat goes flying right into the A's dugout. There's a little bit of a scramble. Everybody
got their limbs.
Seems to be okay. So 2-2 the count to Suzuki. Bottom of the fourth inning.
That may have been another cutter that Zook was trying to wait and get the head out just a little bit, and got it to the fingertips and Seabat.
Reach for that one. Slowly hit to the right side. And that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the fourth. All right, here's our AT&T trivia answer. Who was the last A's player before Brandon Moss to hit 4 home runs in a series? We believe it was the Chief, Geronimo Baroa. 4 home runs against the Twins in 1996. Geronimo Baroa. He could hit.
He could hit. He swung a bat that might have weighed 45 ounces too.
Swing hard, you may hit it, right?
Swinging a tree.
Good pitch there from Bass to Colin Cowgill.
Bass has got a bit of a Lincecum look to his windup. Kind of got a little stab.
Yeah.
A little, not quite as drastic a drop and drive, but it's got a lot of similarities.
Pitching arm kind of straightens out in the back.
It comes out of the glove, stabs it down. Doesn't quite drop that back shoulder like Timmy. Up to that point, though, they're very similar.
2-1 now to Cowgill. Pennington on deck. All the runs in this game were, I shouldn't say all, but Padres scored 1 in the first. A's scored 5 in the first, and then San Diego added another solo run in the second. Since then, it's all zeros. Indeed, both starting pitchers have settled in.
Now, this is a filthy slider. Cowgill was completely fooled by. I can see why.
There's a shot to center field by Cowgill. He's got a base hit.
Hey, A's fans, only the Chevron credit card gets you free A's tickets at the Coliseum box office. Purchase an A's ticket, regular price, show your Chevron credit card, and get a second ticket of equal value free. Go to chevroncards.com to learn more and apply. Seats subject to availability, some restrictions apply. This offer is administered by Chevron.
So 2 outs, or make that 1 out with Cowgill at first, and here's Pennington. Cowgill, as we know, runs very well. Got a couple of steals this year. He's been thrown out 3 times. But Pennington handles the bat well. Really, since that first inning, Bass seems to be around the plate.
Never know, could have some action here.
Well, this was always the spot, Scott, where you were good, because you roll over and find that hole between first and second.
It's a curse, but at times it was a blessing. I could roll over with the best of them.
Well, we were convinced, and whether it's true or not, we're sticking with it. You did it when you wanted to do it.
Well, I like that you remember it that way.
So I remember the base hits to right field. I'll forget about the 4-3 ground. How about that?
Thank you. The double play.
That one's hit well left center field. Maben on the run, still on the run, and it is off the top of the wall. Cowgill read it beautifully. He's digging around third. The throw to the plate, not in time. 6-2. Trying for third is Pennington, and he's in there. Got to give Cowgill some credit on that one. He had a great read, and he just kept coming.
Great base running all around. Cowgill was at second, beyond second base. Stutter step, didn't know if it was going to be caught or not. Read it perfect. Got a perfect distance from the ball.
How about it?
Not where he wanted it. And Pennington tries not to do too much. He even had the hole open. Goes with it. Shows how strong he can really hit the ball. That ball was hit. Cowgill sees it, knows it's hit well. That's about as far as he can go until he's for sure. And then he puts on the Jets, and there he goes. And then it gets by the catcher. Advances. And that base running right there by Pennington allowed him to score on that ball right there, because the infield wouldn't have been in.
So Amarista tried to backhand it, couldn't do it. And coming in is Pennington. So we'll see what the ruling is on that. The ruling on Pennington's ball was a double E2, which allowed
the advancement.
Pennington to go from second to third.
Ball left up, fastball up. Coco hits it hard. That'd be a tough error right there. Backhand in between hops.
Playing in.
Yeah. That ball was hit on the screws too. I'm betting that's a hit.
Still no rule. Now they have put 6th hit, and it is a base hit, so give Crisp a hit and an RBI. So now 7-2, the A's lead. So the A's again scoring runs in bunches. They have carried what they did at Coors Field right here to the Coliseum, and that is good news. So Crisp gets his 13th RBI. And that one's hit hard. Alonso has it. Spins to second for one. Back to first. And that's a double play. But the A's get a couple of runs, and they now lead 7-2 after 4. Are at the Olympic Club for the U.S. Open, and no one has coverage like the networks of NBC Sports. Live coverage of the event on NBC, in-depth previews and recaps on the Golf Channel, and comprehensive local coverage every night on Chronicle Live, Sportsnet Central, and sports reports on NBC Bay Area from Comcast Sports Net. Full team coverage of the U.S. Open from the networks of NBC Sports. Tiger doing his thing, huh?
He's doing his thing.
Oh, yeah. Always good for golf if he's around on Sunday.
Sure, the rest of the tour is not too happy about it.
Well, that's true. The sponsors are, though.
Right?
Top of the 5th inning with the A's now leading 7-2. Amarista, Denorfia, and Cabrera. Blackley jumps out ahead 0-2. Swing and a miss. Good tight slider, and Blackley gets his 3rd strikeout. So 1 out. That gets us to our Chevron pitching matchup for tomorrow's day game against the Padres. The A's have made an announcement. They will call up Tyson Ross tomorrow to make the start. Ross Ohlendorf will pitch for the Padres. So Brandon McCarthy threw a bullpen today. I think the situation was, we'll see how he feels, and we don't know exactly what the outcome was, but they have decided, the A's, that they will call up Tyson Ross tomorrow, but not, at least this was the report today, not put Brandon McCarthy on the disabled list, which means he's probably feels okay, but maybe just not quite ready to go yet. So there will have to be some type of roster move to get Tyson Ross back in the 25. Right. So that's the situation. Tyson Ross will pitch tomorrow. That was Brandon McCarthy's spot, but McCarthy not going to the disabled list. So
that's the good news.
Yeah. Also, Jordan Alberto threw a bullpen session today. Felt good. Reports are that he will throw another bullpen on Sunday, and then hopefully he should be ready to go. So that'll be an important addition to the bullpen. Alberto's had a nice year.
He's had a really nice year. Yeah. Really good arm.
Put him down there with Doolittle and Fuentes and Blevins. That, all those guys. It's pretty.
Some live arms down there. Yeah. Got to feel good with that bullpen.
So that game tomorrow. We'll have a pregame show, Ace pregame live at 12:30, and then the ball game at 1 o'clock. Same deal on Sunday. Weeks charges, gets a good hop on the run, and the throw's wide, but Moss is able to put the tag on Denorfia. So 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Nice play there by Moss coming off the bag.
Now batting, number 2, Everest Cabrera.
Weeks kind of flips it over there, tails more than he wanted, probably got a seam, broke late. Had enough time to get Dino there with a stab tag. Kind of got under it and pushed it, saw it sink. Kind of a lazy throw. Those routine plays got to be made.
Well, as a first baseman, you're probably better to just come off the bag and make the tag than try desperately to keep your foot on the bag.
For sure.
That's when the ball goes past you, right?
A lot of times you can read where the runner is, and if you have time to do it, you can see it peripherally.
Inge charges on the backhand, guns it across, and Buckley a very nice 3-up, 3-down inning. So he's rolling. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. A's 7, Padres 2. Cache Creek Summer of Luck, $500 cash every hour from 2 p.m. till midnight. Visit cashcreek.com for details. Bottom of the 5th here at the O.co Coliseum with the A's leading the San Diego Padres 7-2. Last time these two teams squared off was 2009 in San Diego. The A's won 2 out of 3. The last time the Padres were here was 2000.
Really, that long?
Yeah. A's went to San Diego in 2001, 2006, and 2009. So it's been a while since the Pods were here at the Coliseum. All-time series, the A's lead it 14-8. So are you a fan of interleague play? You certainly.
I do like it.
You were right in the middle of interleague play, and you played in the National League and the American League.
I really liked it.
Did you?
I liked,
okay. What was your reason for liking it?
Well, I like the taste of it as an American League player. You got a taste of the National League game, which I ended up getting to play for a few years at the end of my career in Cincinnati. And it's you get to about the 6th inning, and the managers, everybody gets real busy. Even the guys in the dugout. If you weren't playing, you had a good chance of getting into the ball game, whether it be a double switch or somehow getting and being a left-handed hitter as I was. There was going to be opportunities for me to get in the ball game. So there was a lot more strategy, I guess, involved in these American League games. You can really kind of sit down there with your coffee and let your legs get numb because there's not a lot of changes going on. So I like that part of it. Traveling to some of the other cities, seeing some of these new ballparks that keep popping up.
So you weren't bothered by the difference in style of plays in the American League and National League?
No, I wasn't bothered by it at all. Of course, I wasn't having a pitcher having to hit or a manager having to change the lineup around, which I know is difficult. Well, every year it seemed a pitcher was going to get hurt, rib cage or something. That was a nice pitch.
Reddick swings at a pitch inside, and Bass gets the strikeout, his second.
Yeah, this really fools Reddick here. That's a tough one when it breaks down in there. Especially as he's establishing that fastball that he's been doing lately. Really finding his groove with his command. Both pitchers kind of in danger of pitch counts getting too high. And both settled down, and last 3 innings have been pretty efficient.
I always like to ask guys that have played in both leagues if they noticed if pitchers pitched different in the American League compared to the National League. And it's interesting because some guys say, yeah, big difference. Other guys say, no, not really. I didn't notice it.
You know, I really think it depends on what part of the order you're in. I think if you were,
really? Okay.
Yeah, down in the lower part of the order, there's a lot of fastballs because there's the pitcher getting hit behind you, and there's that less fear of you being driven in with the pitcher back there. I mean, that changes a little bit once you get later in the game, and they might pinch hit for that pitcher.
Yeah.
But if you're lower in the order, you're going to see some more fastballs. And it might be as a whole that you'll see more fastballs, but at the top of the order, I think you get pitched the same no matter where you're at.
Shift is on, a jam shot. It's Headley who is playing the shortstop spot.
A's fans, this weekend is your last chance to enter the A's Deck Makeover Contest, brought to you by Ashby Lumber and Humboldt Redwood. Send in a photo of your ugly deck, and you can win $1,000 Ashby Lumber gift card. Enter online at ondeckgreen.com.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, and here's Brandon Inge.
Yeah, that was quite a shift they had on Smith.
Wow. The year of the shift, that's what we're calling it.
Yep.
Year of the shift and year of the injury. That's the way I guys going down. Big time.
Not just here.
No.
It's across the league.
That one skied towards center, but playable for Maben. And he's got it side retired. So Anthony Bass has a 3-up, 3-down inning, and we're through 5. 7-2 A's lead. Up to date on everything athletics with Casey Pratt. Follow Casey on Twitter at CaseyPrattCSN. Log on to Ace Talk on CSNCalifornia.com all season long to read Casey's news and notes on the Oakland Athletics. First pitch swinging, Chase Headley, and he pops a foul back. Top of the 6th. A's leading 7-2 over the Padres. We were talking about the injury situation. How about what happened with the Toronto Blue Jays, Scott, today, the young starter pitcher Drew Hutchinson left the game after throwing 9 pitches. Had some soreness in his right arm. Well, earlier today, they put Kyle Drabick on the disabled list, another good young starting pitcher. He came out of a start a couple days ago with a sprained right elbow ligament. On Wednesday, they placed Brandon Moore on the 15-day disabled list with a strained oblique. So in the span of Moss gets back. So in the span of 72 hours, they put 3 of their 5 starting pitchers on the disabled. I mean, that's not fair.
That is a black cloud with lightning. That is devastating.
So you have 2 young guys with elbow soreness.
Elbow soreness, and that's, you know, you don't know what's to come with that. Those obliques can take forever.
Oh, man.
That's tough to take an injury hit like that, especially in the American League East.
Yeah, exactly. So Cespedes, who may get a chance to DH in this series over the weekend.
Saw him at BP today. Looked pretty free. Looked pretty pain-free. Nice to get him back in the lineups. Sandwich between some of those lefties. Some tough matchups down the road in the game.
He's just got to take it easy on the ground balls.
Take it easy on the ground balls.
Easy to say, huh? Sniffing a base hit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that plays hard.
We mentioned that the Rangers won their game, but Josh Hamilton did not play, and he's not going to play this weekend. He was hospitalized with an intestinal virus, so he's going to be gone all weekend. So a little different kind of injury. Brad McCarthy's going to miss his start tomorrow. But Hamilton came out of the game on Thursday and he said, I got a stomach ache, I don't feel right, and ended up going to the hospital. So he's going to be out for the weekend.
That's scary. Hopefully that's not too serious.
0-2 pitch to Carlos Quentin is outside. So 1-2 to Quentin, who had an RBI single in the first and then a ground out to third in the third. A fastball that runs inside. That was pitch number 95 for Blackley. I would imagine that Bob Melvin, Kurt Young, and the A staff, Blackley can get you through 6 innings. Giving up just 2 runs, they would have to be thrilled.
I think they're talking about it right now. Yeah, he's done a great job, especially with the start. Falling behind guys. Command was a little sketchy. He settled in nicely.
Well, he gave up a walk and 2 hits in the first inning. But just a couple hits since then, and he has not a lot of hits since the second inning.
Definitely working ahead in the count, and I think you're seeing that. He changed his approach a little bit, started throwing some breaking stuff, pulled that change out, gotten some good 2-strike counts, and then added that slider, which has been just absolutely filthy. And then he's punched some guys out that fastball up. So that's a good adjustment to make. It's a mature major league adjustment.
That one drilled to right center. Nobody's going to get this one, and it bangs off the base of the wall. So Carlos Quentin remains a hot hitter. He's got a 1-out double here in the 6th.
That was a 1-iron.
Yeah. So here's the Yoenis Cespedes. This was when he originally hurt the hamstring. This was on the 7th of June. And then he sat out for a while and then got back at Colorado in first inning. He was running out a ground ball that would be a close play at first, and he aggravated that hamstring a little bit.
He's got muscles on top of muscles.
Yeah, yes, he does.
A lot of things to pull. Got to slow him down a bit.
First pitch to Guzman is just a bit low. Doolittle starts to warm up. Guzman is 0 for 2. Fly ball to center and a strikeout. Now it's 2-0 with a left-handed hitter under Alonso starting to warm up, or in the on-deck circle with a lefty Doolittle warming up.
Good beating right there by Suzuki. That's a great job. Kind of got out of his rhythm. Tells him, don't let that double hurt you. You got a nice lead. Concentrate on this guy. Get back to what we're doing. Veteran move.
Missed again, and now it's 3-0. So Kurt Young will trot out and talk to the pitcher and maybe give Doolittle a little more time. Again, a left-handed hitter waiting in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, definitely got to get him a little time. Probably going to tell him to not be fine, come back, pipe one right here, pipe the next one. Try and see if he can get him out. Get himself out.
So Kurt trots back. And Travis Blackley right at 100 pitches. .30 pitch indeed is right there for a strike.
Definitely want to hit his way on this way. Walks are not your friend right here.
Good pitch there, right at the knees, and it's a full count. Quinton does not run real well at second base.
That is a quality pitch, maybe a little bit in, but too close.
Popped up, right side. Moss, fair territory. He's got it, and so nice comeback by Travis Blackley to get Guzman.
Exactly what he needed to do. Take the fastball, split the plate with it 3 times, see what he can do with it. Odds are you're not going to get a hit. It's a tough game to square that thing up.
So here's Yonder Alonso, who is grounded out to short and grounded out to second. This is the 4th start for Travis Blackley. That one's driven to center. Playable for Coco Crisp. And he's got it. Side retired. A hit and a runner left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It's 7-2 A's. It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Can. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer. Brandon Moss leading it off. Takes a big rip at the first pitch. Hits it foul. Anthony Bass still on the mound for the Padres. Travis Blackley got a chance to get a win. His first win since July 1st of 2004. 7 years and 350 days ago. That's a long time. You were still playing back
That's a while.
Way back then.
Way back then.
No, he's pitched well tonight.
He has. He's really pitched. He's pitched great. He deserves it if they can hold on.
Fastball with a little tail on it. Moss knew it was a strike, so he strikes out. Third strikeout for Bass. One out here in the bottom of the sixth. Good movement on this pitch.
Really good. Bass has settled down too. Actually kind of backs up. That's some serious movement. That was inside to outside corner. Locked him up. Thought it was going to be in.
So Suzuki steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. You know who else Bass looks like a little bit is James Shields. Got a little bit of the same type of delivery.
I can see that.
A little bit. Combination of Shields and Lincecum. How about that?
I think that's it. I think we found it.
6 innings, 5 hits, couple of runs, 104 pitches for Travis Blackley. And it looks like it's going to be the bullpen for the A's. Doolittle got up top of this inning, and he's pretty much greased and ready to go down there.
He's getting the nod.
Two and one to Suzuki with Cowgill in the on-deck circle. There's a line drive and over the head of Amarista, who made a nice effort. Looked like it may have been off the end of the bat, but Kurt will take it. Hit number 7 for the A's and the first for Suzuki.
Yeah, this was a nice piece of hitting here. Ball's kind of up and away. Instead of pulling off the ball, he stays through it, does catch it off the end. Heck of a try by Amarista. Just enough to get over the glove. That's pretty good ups for a little guy.
Yeah. Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Boxberger warming up. Brad Boxberger. First pitch to Cowgill. Changeup drops in first strike. Cowgill singled and scored in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. He's getting a chance to play a bit more lately, and he's done a real nice job.
I love Cowgill swing. He gets up there, and you know, he's not a real big guy, but he lets it fly.
Oh yeah,
got a little Pedroia to him. You know, somebody forgot to tell him he's a little guy. He's a strong, compact kid. He can really throw it.
And that one goes past Hundley, and down to second goes Suzuki. You were a catcher, huh?
I was
Did you
a
love
catcher.
balls like that?
Loved them. Hard sliders, 4 feet to my right, man on first. That's a tough one. He kind of got fooled a little bit there. Bass put a little extra on that, had a good bite to it. I don't think he had much chance of blocking that one.
1-2 pitch, and Cowgill reaches for it, stays alive.
Good pitch. He went right back to it. Just elevated a little bit more. Something Hundley could handle. He's got some hard break to that pitch. It's a tough one to hit.
He's got good stuff.
He's got really
Anthony
good
Bass.
stuff. Really good breaking ball.
See why the Padres like him, even though the record 2-6.
Really, the issue with him is, at least tonight, has been command. He's been kind of up in the zone, missed over the plate.
But killed them in the first inning. Walked the first two guys.
Yep.
Both scored. Then the A's dropped the 5 spot. That one chopped over the mound, and it's going to be speared by Cabrera, but the throw to first is wide, and Cowgill, he was going to beat it out either way. So Cowgill has his second hit. The A's have first and third, 1 out for Pennington.
Good placement right there, but that was a heck of a play by Cabrera. I'm surprised he even got as close as he did to this ball. Fingertips, still get something on it. Oh, that's the end of the glove. All that momentum going to right field to turn and throw. Look at him diving. That's a great play.
All right, when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So the night is done for one Anthony Bass.
Winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club. Make it a combo with fries and a drink.
7-2, the A's lead, and they're looking for more. They got runners at first and third, 1 out. So bullpen is in for the Padres. There's Anthony Bass. He's gone after 5 1/3. 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned runs, and 98 pitches. So the first inning is what got Anthony Bass when the A's scored 5 times. So Brad Boxberger comes in. He made his major league debut on Sunday. So just his second major league outing. We talked about that big trade that sent Matt Latos to Cincinnati in the offseason. Well, one of the players the Padres got back was Brad Boxberger. So he's in the big leagues. He's got to be thrilled about that.
I'm sure he is. Big guy. Throws pretty hard. Got a decent change.
First pitch to Pennington is just a bit low. Pennington with a walk. And then he doubled home a run in the 4th inning and later scored. So Pennington's had a good night.
This situation is about as good as it gets for a left-handed hitter. You got the hole over there at first. Got a guy on at third. 1 out. A lot of options here.
Pennington celebrating a birthday today. He's 28 years old. So happy birthday, Cliff Pennington. Good pitch there by Boxberger right on the outside corner. So the count 2-1. Suzuki at third, Cowgill at first. Couple of singles. From Fullerton, California, he's a USC Trojan. Runner goes, and the throw goes to second, and it goes into center field. Run's going to score. Cowgill's going to go all the way to third. So a huge mistake by Boxberger, and the A's get a run. And now they have a runner at third with 1 out. They had Cowgill, and Boxberger just panicked a little bit.
Yeah, Boxberger did a great move. Great first to third, sells it. They bite, A's bite. He sees the runner, the shortstop covered to second, and instead of just throwing it to the bag, he tries to throw it to where he was. Can't get back there in time. That's just a young guy mistake right there. Now we got the infield in.
Yeah, so now it's 8-2. Two and one to Pennington, and he lines one right center field, and that's a base hit. Trotting in to score is Cowgill. It's 9-2. So a big night for Cliff Pennington. A couple RBI hits.
That's a great swing by Penny. Huh? Great swing by Penny. Didn't try to do too much with it, but Boxberger just tried to come inside with the ball tailed right back over the plate. Gotta wonder if that throw to second right before kind of got him out of his focus a little bit.
So Pennington now with 15 RBIs on the year. Well, the A's are just racking up the runs. 35 runs scored now in the last 4 games.
Who needs Colorado?
A's no longer last in the American League in runs scored. Forget that.
Moving up.
That's right. That now belongs to the Kansas City Royals. Inside corner, strike 1 and 2 to Coco Crisp. Scribner and Doolittle warming up. Good swing there by Coco Crisp. Coco, a walk and a run scored in the first to go along with a stolen base, then a ground out and an RBI single. He's now with 9 hits in the game. This one's popped up shallow left center. Cabrera, the shortstop, gets out there quickly. He's got it.
There's that changeup. Kind of drops the slot a little bit. Gets some pretty good tail, little sink to it.
Now batting, second baseman.
So when you say slot, what do you mean, Scott?
Well, his arm slot. He looks like he lowers it a little bit from maybe a high 3/4 to a low 3/4, and it looks like he tries to see if he can get a little bit more movement out of it.
So the slot is basically kind of where the arm angle is when the ball is released.
When he comes through that window of where he's going to release the ball, he seems a little bit more on top of that, get a little more down plane. And maybe it was just that one pitch, but he does drop it a little bit. Does get pretty good movement out of it.
1-0 to Weeks, who is 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the first. So the book is closed now on Anthony Bass.
So here it is, right when he comes to right about his ear. Where that is in relation to, say, his head, his hand, the higher he goes, would be a high 3/4, and if you keep going, it's overhand. He seems to drop it, so his hand's a little bit kind of lower than his head.
And you don't see straight over the top guys hardly ever anymore.
Rarely. But you'll just see a guy maybe change it a little bit to accentuate some movement, try to find some more movement. Some guys do it because they don't want to do it. Because it just creeps there.
Sure.
It's like hitting. You kind of do things you don't necessarily want to do.
Get tired?
Could be.
Drops
Sometimes
down.
mechanically you could be in a bit of a funk. Your body could be ready before your arm. And to buy time, you drop that slot a little bit to let it catch up.
Weeks had a good swing there, and that pitch was up. So full count. Pennington, the runner at first. With 2 outs, he'll be taken off. Reddick waiting, hoping to get a chance to hit here in the 6th inning. 2 more runs for the A's. 5 in the 1st, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th. Pennington goes, pitches low, ball 4. So Weeks is aboard. So that's the 4th walk issued by the Padres. Of course, the first 3 coming from the starter Bass. So now Reddick has a chance to knock in a run. He had a 2-run triple in that 1st inning. He lined the ball into the right field corner that scored Crispin Weeks.
There's that change again. Big movement on that. Really bottom falls out of that thing big time.
Reddick has also hit a fly ball to the left and struck out swinging. Oh, and he got one to hit there and he popped it up.
He got it again. He couldn't wait quite long enough.
So the shortstop Cabrera has it side retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the A's. We're headed to the 7th inning. 9-2 Athletics. Bobby Kilty hits a home run in the bottom of the 3rd off Jared Washburn. It is the 11,000th in franchise history. Laid Cross hit the 1st in franchise history back on April 30th, 1901. Currently, the A's franchise has 11,806 big flies. And they got one tonight. The hot man Brandon Moss in the 1st inning hit a 2-run shot. And it's time for change. Thanks Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Evan Scribner comes out to pitch the 7th inning. Blackley goes 6. And Scribner takes over here in the 7th inning. And good numbers at AAA. And what we've seen from Scribner at the big league level is a pretty good breaking ball. So Scribner will face Maben, Hundley, and Amarista here in the 7th inning. He's in control, leading 9-2. Down in Anaheim, the Diamondbacks are shutting out the Angels. It's 5-0 in the 8th inning. The Giants are shutting out the Mariners 4-0 also in the 8th inning. As we mentioned, Texas beat Houston 6-2. Darvish got his 8th win. He had 11 strikeouts. So Darvish doing his thing.
He's got pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he does. Really down note for Texas. Koji Uehara, the reliever, went on the disabled list. So Rangers are piling up pitchers on the disabled list.
Another one to the list.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Cued, and it will roll foul.
Really nice breaking ball there. Good shape to it. Big speed difference, 72 miles an hour. Big 12-6 breaker. It's got a nice look to it. Arm speed looks good, yet it comes out at 72. That's pretty good. Offset that 92 mile an hour fastball.
Scribner kicks in. There's that breaking ball again. This one is in the dirt. 2-2.
Good location, 2 strikes. Right where Zook wanted it. Good block.
So now full count. Maben is 0 for 1. He walked in the 4th inning. Payoff pitch from Scribner. And that one's driven to center. Hit pretty well, but lots of room for Coco Crisp. And that's out number 1. So Maben is 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Nick Hundley. The hottest team in baseball right now is the New York Yankees. They won again, and they went to Washington and beat a good Nationals team. 7-2 the final, and for the Yankees, that is their 7th win in a row. So they are in first place now in the AL East. And the Nationals, with the loss, that breaks their 6-game win. How about this, Scott? In Washington tonight, 41,406 to see the Yankees. And I bet they have that many tomorrow. And I bet they have that many Sunday. Nationals playing great, and the Yankees in town.
That's a big series. A lot of people want to see that.
And that was a Gio Gonzalez start, who's been very good this year. But Gio took the loss. He gave up 300 runs in 6 innings. So Gonzalez now 8-3. So the Yankees 7 wins in a row. 0-2 the count to Hundley. That big overhand curve. The Rays beat the Marlins in the Battle of Florida 11-0 in St. Petersburg. Moore got the win. Zambrano got the loss, and the Marlins 1 hit. That curveball cued foul again.
Tough for them to stay back on that pitch.
Yeah.
They see it. And it's got such a break to it, and it's so slow. It's hard to stay back and square it up. A lot of cues off the end.
So the count stays 1-2 to Nick Hundley. The fastball runs high. Hundley has hit a pair of fly balls to left field.
Good cut there. He's on that pitch. Fastball's pretty straight. Scribner.
Well, you get the feeling he's going to drop that big curveball again at some point.
Get that weapon.
What gave me that idea, huh? There it is, and that's a dandy strike 3 call. Hundley just watched it, could not pull the trigger. So
your mind reader.
That's a curveball.
Just misses a fastball, comes back with that thing that started up around his letters on his helmet, drops in for a strike.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not going to swing at that if you're a hitter.
It's hard.
Too much.
It's almost impossible because it comes out of his hand and your eyes see it. Oh my gosh, that's way up.
Yeah.
Bottom falls out of it.
And you just can't imagine a pitch breaking that much?
It just your body and your eyes don't seem to work together. By the time you've decided, oh my gosh, this is a strike, it is too late. I know your pain, Hundley.
He's shaking his head. 2-0 to Amarista, who tripled and scored in the second and struck out in the fifth. Padres got Amarista from the Angels. Ernesto Frieri, who has been sensational for the Angels. And on 4 pitches, Amarista has the walk.
Come out to the Coliseum this Sunday when the A's host the Padres and get your very own A's Chia Pet Cocoa Crisp. 10,000 fans will take home this unique replica item courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile. For more information and tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com/cocoa.
So that's the Sunday.
I think I might have to get one of those.
We can get you one.
Okay.
We know a few people.
My kids would enjoy that.
Yeah, not as much as the Scott Hatterberg bobblehead that's coming out.
I can't imagine the haircuts they'll give that thing.
So 2-0 to Denorfia, the leadoff hitter.
You know, Scribner gets those 2 quick outs, 4 straight balls to Amarista, and drops 2-0 to Denorfia. This is more of a concentration thing, and Suzuki rightly goes out there and hopefully gets his mind right.
One for 3 tonight for Denorfia. He bounced a single into center field in the second inning, knocked it down, and that one's a strike. Fly ball, right field. Trotting in is Reddick, and that will do it. So the walk does no damage. 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum coming up. 9-2 Athletics. Inning. A's with a 9-2 lead. 9 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the A's. 2-5-2 for the San Diego Padres. And Seth Smith to lead it off. Boxberger stays out there. He finished up the bottom of the 6th inning. And the first pitch to Smith is a strike. Seth Smith looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. A ground out, a fly out, and then another ground out. So 0 for 3. And a quick 0-2 count. Cubs beat the Red Sox today at Wrigley Field 3-0. Dempster over Matsusaka. And on 3 pitches, Seth Smith strikes out, so he's 0 for 4. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Today's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroad. Salute Dad and Father's Day by treating him to a ride on a steam train through the Redwoods and an old-fashioned chuck wagon barbecue. RoaringCamp.com. Here's Inge. Inge takes a strike. And a good changeup from Boxberger, and it's 0-2.
He's got real feel for that pitch, doesn't he?
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is, right? A feel pitch.
It's very much a feel pitch. Goes to the righties and lefties.
Well, isn't it true that's the pitch that always takes the longest to get going in spring training when guys are starting to?
I think that's exactly. It's one of the harder pitches to teach. If a guy's got it, he's got it or he doesn't got it.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to teach.
And there it is. And
tough to teach a good one like that.
So Inge strikes out, back-to-back strikeouts for Boxberger.
Yeah, the bottom just falls out of that, and after he just threw a fastball up and in, he sees this, pulls the string on him. It's like it's underwater. Huge speed difference combined with the bottom falling out of it.
If a guy's got a real good changeup, there's not a whole lot you can do to hit it. Am I correct?
Well, it's a tough pitch. I mean, it's so good a pitch that there's guys that have closed with it. I think of Hoffman and Keith Folk. I mean, basically, they didn't throw very hard, and they just had phenomenal changeups. So that deception right there is tough to deal with and can be very consistent, as they both shown.
So Boxberger has a 3-up, 3-down inning, and we're moving to the 8th. Still 9-2, the A's lead.
Time now for the Home Depot, doing more on defense. Here off the bat of Alonso, we got Jamal Weeks ranging with the shift on. Has Pennington in his face. Tough play. Momentum going to left field. Double clutches. Shows off the arm for a nice bang-bang play to get him out.
Well, we've seen Jamal Weeks do that quite a bit in his young career.
Well, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
You can tell that right there. Speed, arm, hands are getting better.
Evan Scribner back to work. Had a walk and a strikeout in the 7th inning. He's going to get a little more work here in the 8th. He faces Cabrera, Headley, and Quinton 2, 3, and 4 in the Padres lineup. There's that big curveball, but it stays just a bit outside. Diamondbacks still leading the Angels 5-0 that game now in the 9th inning. The Mariners scored twice in the bottom of the 8th to close in. The Giants lead 4-2 going to the 9th inning at Safeco. And the Texas Rangers won earlier, beating the Astros. Curveball, strike 3 call. Oh, I love that curveball.
Throws him again. Here it is. Look at how high it starts. That's as high as his helmet.
Chase Headley.
It just keeps dropping.
Well, then it's like a backdoor curveball too to a left-handed hitter, which
right.
makes it even more impossible.
Especially when it's a 12-6 type. He starts it over the outside half or outside corner in that case. Tough pitch to hit, even if you know it's coming.
Foul tip by Chase Headley. The Blue Jays shut out the Phillies in Toronto 3-0. Phillies have lost 10 of 13. Scratch their head on those guys. I know they're banged up, but they're still a pretty talented team with good pitching. Phillies now 31 and 35.
Wouldn't expected that this
No.
preseason.
Three and 1 to Headley. He takes a big rip. Kurt Suzuki feels the effect of that foul ball.
Well, if he was tired at this point in the game, he is now awake. Those will jar your feelings. Still got the old school mask.
Yeah. I'm sure you missed those foul balls off the mask.
The masks were okay. The ones that kind of hit you where you had no padding.
Yeah.
Nobody had any pity. They were like, come on, let's go. Let's get this game going.
And a fastball, and Headley strikes out. So that's the 3rd strikeout for Evan Scribner.
And you know what he had in the back of his mind right there? A little late on that fastball away, but he had that curveball in his mind.
Now batting, number 18, Carlos.
So the swing is
he was just
a little late, right?
See, he's late because he knows he's protecting for that breaking ball, which is pretty slow. Makes that 89-mile-an-hour fastball look a whole lot faster.
Well, there's some bad body language going into the Padres dugout against Scribner. They're just shaking their head.
Well, Suzuki's mask again.
Well, Kurt's taken more shots this year than
the dugout's talking to him now.
He's tough.
Well, he's a tough kid.
We say it all the time.
Kotze's John at him. Next teammate. Tons of sympathy.
Oh. That's brutal.
He's horse laughing at him.
Yeah. I would say the level of sympathy in a big league dugout or a clubhouse is about 0.
It's 0. 0 and then some. Kotze, grab a bat. You might get that curveball. Suzuki will make sure of it.
He's one of the good guys, Mark Kotze.
He's one of the good ones. He's one of the great ones. Professional as they come.
Skied to center where Coco Crisp is under it. And Evan Scribner has a very nice 2 innings. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's 9-2, the A's lead. Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. The A's scored a 5-spot in the first. Reddick with a 2-run triple. Scored Crispin Weeks, who both walked. Inge had a base hit that knocked in a run in the first. And then Moss stepped up. Whack. Another home run for Brandon Moss. A 2-run shot. He's red hot. So the A's were off and rolling, and they have not trailed since. 2-5-2 for the Padres, 9-9-0 for the Athletics. That's your game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
Now pitching, number 58, Brad Brock.
So bottom of the 8th inning.
The catcher,
Got a new pitcher.
Kurt Suzuki.
Get him in the game. And Suzuki will lead things off. It'll be Suzuki, Cowgill, and Pennington. When it's time for change, think speedy oil change in tune-up. Oil change tune-up and smog experts. Brad Brock comes in. So Brad Boxberger in an inning and 2/3. Brad Brock comes in. Suzuki, Cowgill, and Pennington. Suzuki pops 1-5. A few changes in the outfield. Will Venable comes in the game in right field, and going to left field is to north field. Carlos Quinton is out. 1-2 pitch. Another foul ball, same spot. Base hit in the 6th inning for Kurt Suzuki. Boxberger goes an inning and 2/3. Up ahead, a walk, couple of strikeouts. Kurt, this one is playable on the pop-up. Alonso has it, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Remember, to an A's post-game live. It's coming up immediately following our ball game, and we'll have the A-team. Scott and myself will be joined by the radio guys, Ken Cork and Vince Cotroneo. They'll come on over to the booth, and we'll have some fun, talk about tonight's game, catch a few laughs.
Catch a few laughs.
Why not? So that'll be the A-team coming up, and we'll see it during A's post-game live, and it'll also be part of the 95.7 A's post-game show on radio with simulcast. So keep it right here on Comcast Sportsnet California after the game for the A-Team and the full A's post-game live. And as of right now, we'll have plenty of good stuff to talk about with the A's leading 9-2. And Cowgill, another good ball game, 2 for 3. Cowgill has 18 hits in his last 45 at bats. So there's your reason why he's getting a lot of playing time. His average all the way up to 274.
He's swinging a hot bat.
That's right.
If I was Bob Melvin, I'd put him in there too.
Yep.
Good fastball hitter. Brett Brock got a good fastball. He likes to come at you, works fast. Ooh, pretty good split. He's got a split. It's a nice piece of catching, actually.
Darting down and into Cowgill.
Usually they don't dive that way.
Close pitch, just a bit inside.
Good location right there. Cowgill couldn't have done much of that if he wanted to. He's now aware of that.
He lays off and he's got the walk. So that's good at bat by Colin Cowgill. He was behind and he laid off some tough pitches from Brad Brock. So 1-out runner.
Now batting, shortstop, number 2, Cliff Pennington.
Big night for Cliff Pennington. A walk, RBI double, RBI single. He scored a run and he has stolen a base. So he's filling up the stat sheet, is Cliff Pennington.
Well, that's his birthday.
That's right.
He's entitled.
'28th birthday. Cliff Pennington. That's a nasty pitch right
That's
there.
filthy.
Man.
That's that split. Acts like a change. Comes out of his hand just like a fastball, but not.
It was there,
and then it wasn't there.
But that one is going to drop for a hit. Have a night, Cliff Pennington.
Well, on your birthday, you may as well be perfect.
And he is 3 for 3 with a walk.
And he's perfect.
So the A's have 10 hits now in the game. They have 2 on and 1 out for Coco Crisp, but they're trying to add on.
That's a good pitch there by Brock. Pennington just keeps his hands inside, stays through it, uses the big part of the field. Got jammed a little bit, but hit it good enough to find some green out there. Third hit of the night.
Coco Crisp will hit. Strike in the outside corner. Hitting a walk for Coco tonight out of the leadoff spot, so he's been on base a couple times. 1 for 3. Well, the bullpen for the A's is empty, so it looks like Evan Scribner's going to go for the save.
It's his game.
That's right.
I don't know if the Padres are too excited about that.
Probably not. Nothing like getting a save in a 9-2 game.
Yeah, how about that?
Coco takes that one, watches it drop low. Tomorrow afternoon, game 2 of the series. Tyson Ross is going to be called up from AAA to pitch that game against Ross Hollingworth. There's a base hit left field. Cowgill will stop at third, so the bases are loaded for Jamal Weeks. So 2 hits for Coco Crisp.
Well, that's sure a good sign, because that was a tough pitch right there. Brock absolutely painted this. Almost no stride from Coco. Used all hands. And just shot it where he could. Right where it was pitched. Line drive down the line. That's a good feeling right there. It's a good sign, too.
So Weeks will try to get his first hit. He has walked a couple of times and he's grounded out. So the first pitch, and that one's drilled to left. Denorfia goes back. He's got it. Cowgill races home. It's going to be a sacrifice fly for Jamal Weeks. And Cowgill scores the A's 10th run. 10-2 Athletics. So give Weeks his 9th RBI of the year. So Jamal does not wait around.
No, he wasn't waiting around. You know, yeah. Sometimes it's good to be aggressive. You got all those ducks on the pond there. He got a changeup, and he didn't try to do too much with it. Hit it where it was pitched. Did his job.
So Reddick hits now 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Reddick with the 2-run triple in the first inning, knocking in his 32nd and 33rd runs of the year to go along with his 15 home runs. Home run yesterday late in the game at Coors Field. And a jab shot headed for the dugout. Not quite sure how he hit that.
I'm not so sure he knew how he hit it. That ball was way in. I'm going to swing. I shouldn't swing. That might have hurt if he'd have continued with it. He'd foul off some body part there.
And right in there with a fastball again, and Reddick strikes out. Side retired. Another run for the A's. So we're headed to the ninth. It's 10-2 Athletics. So it's the ninth inning. A's trying to wrap up the victory. They lead 10-2. He's trying to get win number 30 and their fourth in a row. First pitch swinging. Guzman flies out to Cowgill. That's out number 1. So last A's pitcher with a 3-inning save. It was Tyson Ross in 2010. Scribner has a chance to do it here. He's 2 outs away. He gets Guzman on 1 pitch. So that'll bring up Yonder Alonso, who is 0 for 3. And he swings at the first pitch, pops a foul back.
Well, if you're going to get back in this game, Padres are thinking you got to do it swinging. First 2 guys come out of the gate swinging. don't blame him.
Breaking ball just a bit high. The final in Anaheim, the Arizona Diamondbacks shut out the Angels 5-0. Trevor Cahill gets the win. So Cahill pitching well and defeating the Angels tonight. More action for Cowgill, drifting toward the line. A step into foul territory. He's got it. 2 out.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse reverse replay, and it's a Brandon Monster shot, keeping up his torrid pace, hitting the ball out of the yard. Put it down in his happy zone, and he knows where to put it. And he did it again today. Brandon Moss swinging a seriously hot bat in the power department.
6 home runs in 9 games with the Athletics, so indeed putting on a show. So Scribner 1 out away from getting a 3-inning save and getting Travis Blackley his first win in over 7 years.
Well, he's due.
He is due. So 1-1 to Cameron Maben, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. There's that big curveball. Strike 2 call, 1-2.
He's got the feel for that tonight.
Yeah. So the crowd, over 24,000 tonight on its feet, and that one's chopped slowly down the third base line. Suzuki guns it to first, dug out by Moss, and that's the ball game.
Great play by Suzuki. That was a tough one because Maven can flat out fly.
So Evan Scribner gets the save, Blackley gets the win. Cliff Pennington with a 3-hit night, and the A's continue their red-hot hitting as they win Game 1 of this series against the San Diego Padres. A final score of 10-2. So the A's have now scored 36 runs in their last 10 games. So they're swinging the bat, and indeed they take what they did at Coors Field and they carry it over to the Coliseum. 10 more runs tonight. So I guess you can